Chapter 11. Emma. Nice place, Edwin says as we approach the front door of the house where I grew up. I hurry my steps inside just as the door opens. Emma. My dad holds out his arms and I hurry into them. Hi, Dad. I sink into the hug and close my eyes. There's stability in his arms, and I breathe in the familiar scent of his aftershave. I missed you, kid. I missed you too. And who do we have here? I break free from the hug and half turn to Edwin. This is my friend Edwin Duffy. He went to Bulls High with me. This is my dad, Richard Winters. Edwin steps forward with his hand outstretched. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Likewise. I catch the hesitation in my dad's voice. Emma? A woman shrieks and my cousin comes running from the kitchen. I give her a hug as well. I didn't know you were here, I say. I stopped by with Daniel since Mom went to Florida. Growing up, Haley would often spend time here while her mother, my dad's sister, traveled all over the place. She's a few years older than me, so I always considered her the older sister I never had. I glance down at her stomach, and a smile spreads across my face. Haley? Did you eat too much? Surprised, she laughs. I didn't think it was going to be noticeable yet. But you're going to be an aunt. Well, honorary aunt. Haley, congratulations. I hug her again. When are you due? April. A spring baby. Why didn't you tell me? A tall man shows up behind her. I told her we should, but she wanted to tell you in person. Congratulations, I say and hug Daniel, Haley's husband. They were married last summer, after having been a couple since they both were 14. Thanks. Are you hungry? I don't think there's going to be a lot of food there tonight. Starving. I remembered the man I brought with me. Oh, this is Edwin. I gesture vaguely to him. A friend. I invited him to the party tonight. Haley raises an eyebrow, but I just roll my eyes at her. Well, come grab some food. Daniel waves him over and heads back to the kitchen. Do you go to uni as well? Haley asks as she leads Edwin away. Emma? I was about to follow them, so I spin around and walk back to where my dad is still standing by the door. He looks a little uncomfortable. What is it? So this Edwin. Is he special to you? I blink. Then it hits me. I hardly ever bring home men, and since Hannah didn't make it, it must look strange. I shake my head. He's just a friend. I was trying to set him up with another friend, but she got sick and couldn't make it. Dad nods. Well then. Let's eat. After a simple dinner, we all get changed. I drive Edwin back to his house so he can change while I chat with his mother. She's a timid woman who keeps offering me tea and cookies, and smiles at me as if I was about to give her the grandbabies she's always wanted. I keep telling her that Edwin is just a friend, but I can tell by the glimmer in her eyes that she thinks something more is going on. I really didn't think this through. But it's too late to take back the invitation now. We arrive at the party, and I let go of Edwin's arm as we enter the ballroom. It's a black tie event, so I'm wearing a floor-length red dress with a full skirt. It sits off the shoulders, showing off a simple pendant my dad got me one year for my birthday. The only other jewelry I'm wearing is a bracelet Knightley gave me last Christmas. I adjust it as I look out over the sparkling room. I was surprised when I got it. He usually gets me something silly or generic. But he told me someone helped him pick it out. It's become one of my favorite pieces. So this is a fundraiser? Edwin asks, and I remember that I'm not alone. Yes, I say and step into the room. For the care facility where my dad works. They hold one every year right before Christmas. Will there be dancing? He gives me a smile that tells me he hopes there will be. Yes. It's mostly dancing and mingling and a few speeches. I let go of his arm and grab a glass of champagne from a passing tray. When I look up, I spot Julian, Jenna, Noah, and Knightley. The boys are all in tuxedos, looking very handsome. But somehow, Knightley is stealing the show. His tuxedo fits him like a glove, showing off his broad shoulders. Edwin says something, but I can't stop staring. When Knightley looks over, it's as if he knew exactly where I was. His eyes sliced right to me. I can feel my cheeks flush, and I quickly take a sip from the glass. When I look back up, he's still staring at me. I inhale, and the movement of my chest pulls his eyes down my body. For a confusing moment, I feel naked. I almost look down to make sure everything is covered up. I asked if you wanted to dance, Edwin says next to me, and I pull myself out of the spell. What? Oh, maybe later. I place the glass on a table. If you excuse me. I make a vague gesture towards the ladies' room and hurry away. I should not have invited him. But Hannah was supposed to be here. I push the door to the restroom open and hide inside. You made it, Haley says as she comes out from one of the stalls and washes her hands. She grimaces. I don't know why I have to pee all the time. Maybe because you're pregnant? She smiles and looks down at the bump that's hidden under a loose-fitting dress. I guess that could have something to do with it. Did you just get here? Yes. I open my purse and bring out my lip gloss. I had to have tea with Edwin's mother while he got ready. Luckily, he was quick about it. You know that boy has a crush on you, right? What? I look at her in the mirror. No, he doesn't. He's interested in Hannah. I wouldn't be so sure about that. He hasn't brought her up once. He didn't even ask how she was when she texted during dinner. I fix my lips and shake my head. I think you're wrong. He's probably just shy about it. Haley shrugs. Maybe. As she heads back into the fray, I frown at my reflection. No, just because his mother had those ideas does not mean he does. As I leave the restroom, I spot Knightley's mother. She's a beautiful woman in her 40s. Growing up, I thought she was a superhero. She wore business suits and her hair was always perfect. On the few occasions I went over to Knightley's, she was friendly, but not pushy like the other adults sometimes could be. I watched her make cookies from store-bought dough once. Her nails were bright red, the same color as her lips. I asked Knightley if she was a model. He laughed at me. Ms. Knightley. Emma, how nice to see you here. Are you visiting for the holidays? There is something so genuine about her smile. I nod. Good. I sometimes think how lonely your father must be in that big house. I brought him some banana bread the other week. She looks out over the crowd. I think he works too much to be lonely, I say. Perhaps. Have you seen my son? He barely had time to stop by this afternoon. But I think he's here. I saw him earlier. Her eyes turn back to me, and there's something evaluating in them now. Of course, you must be seeing quite a bit of him nowadays. She gives me a wink. Oh, right. He said things are going well. Living together. I hope he's being respectful. He is. It's great. But could you not mention anything about that to my dad? I still haven't told him. Her perfect eyebrow crooks. I doubt he would mind. He knows your friends. I just had to leave my previous apartment in a rush, and I didn't want to worry him. You're a good daughter. Even though your brother is a bit of a rascal, I'm glad you've remained friends with Maxie all these years. She always calls Knightley Maxie. The first time I heard it, I almost wet my pants laughing. I should try to find them, I say. It was nice running into you. You too. I walk past a small table with little glasses of gazpacho and pastries with mushrooms, and keep an eye out for Knightley and the others. There you are, a voice says behind me. I was starting to think you abandoned me. I plaster on a fake smile and face Edwin. Not at all. Did you mingle? I was hoping we could have that dance now. I should check in with Hannah first. I make a move to reach into my clutch. She's probably sleeping. Come on. He takes my hand and pulls me along to the dance floor. I sigh and give in. The music flows through the room at a volume that makes talking much too comfortable for Edwin. I reply with short answers as he talks of the room and the people in it. All the while I look around, trying to spot someone I could introduce him to. When the music finally ends, I make to leave, but Edwin keeps hold of my hand as if he expects another dance. I try to step back, but he doesn't let go. Mind if I cut in? A deep voice asks over my shoulder. My eyes fly up to Knightley's face. He reaches out and takes my hand from Edwin, and just like that, I can't breathe. I turn to face him and place my hand on his shoulder. Thanks for that, I say once Edwin is out of earshot. You looked like you needed rescuing. I laugh. What? Did you want to keep dancing with him? What's so funny? I shake my head and try to bite back the laughter. That was such a corny line. Don't you need a cape at the very least, if you're going to pretend to be a superhero? I can call him back, you know. He takes a step back from me, and I hurry to close the gap between us. Please don't. You can rescue me. Just this once. He shakes his head as we keep dancing. You sure know how to keep a man on his toes. Would I be any fun otherwise? Speaking of fun, are you ready to admit defeat yet? I've been thinking of where I want you to take me. Never. I just need to redirect his energy a bit. Hannah is a catch, and he'd be lucky to have her. His hand on my back pulls me closer as we graze by another couple. Goosebumps rise on the back of my arms and my breath hitches. I wait for him to release his grip, but he does not. So I let my hand slide further up his shoulder. Are you done feeling up my sister yet? Noah says as the music stops. Knightley instantly drops his arms to his sides and I take half a step back. It's called dancing, Noah, I say pointedly. Maybe you should try it sometime. He makes a face at me and turns to Knightley. Will you tell Julian he's an ass for promising something and not delivering? What did he promise? I ask as we walk over to Julian and Jenna. He promised us a celebrity by Christmas. Noah glares at Julian, who seems unfazed. Who? I ask. Oh, you haven't heard, Noah says. Julian's cousin is Frank Churchill. What? I gape at him. How have we known you all this time, and you never even mentioned that? Julian shrugs. I've talked about Frank. And he's coming here? My heart is fluttering at the thought. He was supposed to, Noah says. There was a scheduling conflict, Jenna says. And since we're going to Monaco. He seems to take his promises very lightly, Knightley says. He's still coming, Julian says. But it'll be in the new year. Who's coming? Haley asks and pushes her way past Noah with Daniel in tow. And why are we just standing here? Frank Churchill, Noah says. Julian knows him. No, her eyes go wide. Emma used to have such a crush on him. I try to silence her with my eyes. Really? Noah asks with a grin. Oh yeah. We probably watched Uniform Summer 100 times the summer it came out. It was a good movie, I say sheepishly. No movie is that good, Haley deadpans. It's not like you minded. Why would I? She shrugs. He's hot. Have you seen the trailer for his latest movie? He's all grown up now. Noah is still grinning at me. Tell us more about this crush. She used to dream about marrying him, Haley goes on. I think that's enough, I say. It was a long time ago. Maybe that's why she refuses to fall in love, Noah says. Because she's holding out for a movie star. I give him a wry smile. Someone in this family needs to have some standards. And since yours are on the floor, I guess I have to aim high. Excuse me, Knightley says and takes a step away from us. Hey. I reach out and touch his sleeve. Thanks for the dance. He only nods at me before disappearing into the crowd.
Chapter 12. Knightley. I find my mother and dance with her. It's not until I see Emma headed to the other side of the room that I head back and ask Jenna if she wants to dance. As I lead her across the floor, I can't help but notice that it's not the same at all as dancing with Emma. So is Churchill really coming? I ask. I hope so. Julian is really looking forward to seeing him again. He told me they used to go camping together when they were younger, but when Frank started acting, they didn't always have time to do that. Huh. She leans back and looks up at me. Why do you ask? Do you also have a crush on him? I just can't see why women like him. It's not like he's special or anything. He is an actor, Jenna says carefully. Anyone could be an actor. It just happens to be the career he's chosen. I spin around and my eyes scan the crowd. I don't think it's quite that easy. From what Julian's told me, he's worked really hard to get where he is. Not just with the acting, but taking care of how he looks and being friendly to fans. Don't they have people that help with that? She shrugs. Perhaps. But I can't imagine always having to be on the lookout for anyone with a camera. If he's ever rude to anyone, it would be all over the internet in an instance. My eyes land on Emma. She's standing next to her father, smiling at some of his colleagues. He gets paid to play around with fake guns and pretend to jump off buildings. Why does this bother you? Too late, I realize she's figured out what I was looking at. Or does it bother you that Emma had a crush on him? I don't care. The silence tells me she doesn't believe me. I sigh. I just don't want her to get hurt. I think Emma can take care of herself. She's strong. I watch as Edwin taps her on the shoulder. She glances back at him and holds her father's arm closer. Edwin taps her shoulder again. Emma looks to her father, but he's focused on the man he's talking to. There is resignation on her face as she puts her hand in Edwin's and follows him to the dance floor. I look away. Then I move us closer to where Noah is chatting with Haley and her husband. Noah, I say when we're within hearing range. He looks up at me. You should probably go save Emma. That Edwin guy keeps asking her to dance. So? Noah asks. So you know she's too polite to say no. He rolls his eyes dramatically and puts down his drink before sauntering over to where Emma and Edwin are dancing. You care about her a lot, don't you? Jenna is studying my face. She's a friend. I try to sound nonchalant. Right. We dance a while in silence, but she keeps looking at me. What? I finally ask. You're not setting yourself up for heartache, are you? What? I try to laugh off her question. She's just a friend. An important friend. Just be careful. I don't want to see you get hurt. Her face is so sincere and so worried for me that I swallow any comedic reply. Emma is one of my best friends. I will never endanger our friendship. Promise? I promise that whatever happens, I will do whatever I can to never lose her friendship. Even if she ends up marrying some obnoxious actor. I try to make the last part a joke, but as the music stops, I realize Jenna is still serious. Good. She thanks me for the dance and walks back to her boyfriend. And leaves me to my thoughts. Which have involved Emma a lot lately. But that's only to be expected. We're roommates now, and I see her a lot more than I used to. Thoughts of her vibrator in my hand take over my mind. Every time I walk by her door, it's all I can think about. And it's led to a lot of cold showers lately. So many my skin is about to fall off. But I will not risk our friendship. I need Emma in my life.